(1971). 1971 was the year of spaghetti. In 1971, I cooked spaghetti to live and lived to cook spaghetti. Steam rising from the aluminium pot was my pride and joy. Tomato sauce bubbling up in the saucepan was my one great hope in life. 1971. I'd even gone to a specialist cookware store and got myself a kitchen timer. A huge aluminium pot, big enough to bathe in Alsatian. No kidding. Big. I went to all the supermarkets, those posh ones that cater to foreigners. I went and gathered an assortment of odd-sounding spices. Bought tomatoes by the dozen. Went to a bookstore, got myself a pasta cookbook. I bought each and every brand of spaghetti I could lay my hands on and simmered every sauce known to man. Tiny particles of olive oil, garlic and onion swirled up in the air and formed a harmonious cloud. A cloud that penetrated each and every corner of my tiny little apartment. Every corner, permeating my clothes, my floor, the ceiling, the walls, my lamp, my books, my tennis racket, my records, my bundles of old letters, everything. It was the kind of fragrance that one might have smelled only on the ancient Roman aqueducts. Perfect. This is a story from the year of spaghetti, AD 1970. As a rule, I cooked and ate spaghetti alone. I was convinced that spaghetti is a dish best enjoyed alone. I can't explain why, but here it is. I always drank tea with my spaghetti. Otherwise, chai, but with spaghetti, tea. Ate a simple lettuce cucumber salad. I made sure I had plenty of both. I lay everything neatly on the table and enjoyed a leisurely meal, glancing at the paper as I ate. Sunday to Saturday, one spaghetti day followed another, and every new Sunday was the beginning of a brand new spaghetti week. every time I sat down to a plate of spaghetti, especially on the rainy afternoon, I had this distinct feeling that someone was going to knock on my door. The person I imagined going to visit me was each time different. Sometimes a stranger, sometimes someone I knew. So, once there was a little girl, with slim legs whom I dated in school. Once it was me, from a few years ago, who come to pay a visit. And once it was none other than William Holden with Jennifer Jones on his arm. Okay. William, come in, Will. Come. Hey, Will. None of these people, not one of them ever ventured into the apartment. They always just hovered outside the door without knocking, and like fragments of memories. Spring, summer, autumn, even I cooked as if cooking spaghetti were an act of revenge. Like a jilted, lonely teenage girl throwing old love letters into the fireplace, I picked one handful of spaghetti after another and tossed it in. I gathered all the trampled down shadows of life, kneaded them into the shape of an Alsatian, lowered it into the roiling water, sprinkled salt over it, hovered over the pot with oversized chopsticks in hand, waiting for the kitchen timer to ding its plate. And it was done. But the spaghetti strands, they are a crafty bunch. And I couldn't let them out of my sight, not for a second. If I were to turn my back, they might well slip over the edge of the pot and then disappear into the night. Like a tropical jungle waits to swallow colorful butterflies into the eternity of time, the night lay there in silence, waiting to waylay the prodigal strands. My prodigal strands. Spaghetti alla parmigiana, spaghetti alla pasci loaf, spaghetti alla napolitana, spaghetti aglio e olio, spaghetti alla carbonara, spaghetti della pina. And then there was this pitiful, nameless, leftover spaghetti carelessly tossed into the fridge. Born in heat, the strands of spaghetti washed down the river of 1971 and vanished. And I mourn for them all the spaghetti of the year 1970. I mourn for them all the spaghetti of the year 1970. Spaghetti della pina, spaghetti alla carbonara, spaghetti alla parmigiana, strands of spaghetti washed up. When the phone rang at 3:20, I was sprawled over the tatami staring at the sea. A pool of warm winter sunlight had formed in the place where I lay, and I lay there like a dead fly, vacant, careless. At first, I didn't recognize it as a ringing phone. It seemed more like a memory that accidentally slipped in between the layers of air. Finally, though, it began to take shape, and a ringing phone was unmistakably what it was. A 100% phone ring in 100% real. Still sprawled over. I reached out and picked up the receiver. On the other end was a girl. A girl so indistinct that by 4:30 p.m. she might well have disappeared altogether. She was the ex-girlfriend of a friend of mine. Something had brought them together, this guy and this indistinct girl, and something led them to a breakup. I had reluctantly played a role in getting them back together in the first place.
Sorry to bother you, but do you know where he is now?
I ran my eyes along the length of the cord, and the cord was sure enough attached to the phone. I managed to wave reply. But there was something ominous in the girl's voice. Whatever trouble was brewing, I was sure I didn't want to get into it.
No one is telling me where he is. Everyone's pretending that they don't know, but there's something really important that I have to tell you. So please tell me where he is. I promise I won't involve you in this. Where is he?
I honestly don't know. I haven't seen him in a long time. My voice didn't seem like my own. I was telling her the truth about not having seen her in a long time, but not about the other part. Of course, I knew his address and his phone number, but whenever I lie, something really odd happens to my voice. She kept quiet, and the phone in my hand began to freeze. It felt like a block of ice. Soon all the objects around me turned into pillars of ice, as if I were in a J.G. Ballard science fiction. I really don't know. He left a long time ago without saying a word.
Over. He's not that clever. We're talking about someone who has to keep up a sting no matter what he does.
She was right. The guy was really a bit of a dim bulb. Nevertheless, I wasn't going to tell her where he was. Okay, do that in the next ad. Have him over the phone giving me an earful. I was through getting caught up in other people's messes. I'd already dug up a hole in the backyard and buried everything that I had to in it, and nobody would ever dig it up again. I'm sorry.
You don't like it, do you?
At this, I didn't know what to say. I didn't particularly dislike the girl, but I had no impression of her at all. And it's hard enough to have a bad impression of somebody you have no impression of. I'm sorry. But I'm actually cooking right now. I'm cooking spaghetti.
Come again?
I said I'm cooking spaghetti. I lied. I don't know why, but that lie was already a part of me. So much so that at that point, it didn't feel like a lie at all. I took an imaginary pot, filled it with imaginary water, lit the imaginary stuff with an imaginary match, lowered a handful of imaginary spaghetti into the boiling water, sprinkled imaginary salt over it, and set the imaginary kitchen timer for exactly 12 minutes. So I'm cooking right now, and the spaghetti will be ruined. Don't you get it? Listen, I'm sorry, but cooking spaghetti is a delicate operation. Could you please call me back?
Because you're in the middle of making spaghetti?
Yes.
Are you cooking it for someone, or are you going to eat it alone?
I'll eat all of this by myself. Alone.
Look, there's no way you could know this, but I'm really, really in trouble. I just don't know what to do.
I can't help.
There's money involved too. He owes me money. I lent him some money. I know I shouldn't have, but I had to.
I kept quiet for about a minute. My thoughts slowly drifting towards spaghetti. Listen, I can't help you. I'm sorry. I've really got the spaghetti thing going, so.
Goodbye. Say hi to your spaghetti for me. I hope it turns out okay.
Hello? Bye. When I hung up, the circle of warm winter sunlight moved an inch or two. I sprawled over the tatami again, staring at the ceiling. Thinking about spaghetti that boils eternally but never gets done. It's a sad, sad. I regret now a little about not having helped the girl. Perhaps I should have. I mean, her ex-boyfriend was barely anything to begin with, an empty shell of a guy, artistic pretensions, great talker, nobody trusted him. And that poor girl sounded as though she was really strapped for money. No matter what, you ought to pay back what you owe. Got to pay back. Yeah, sure, definitely. I mean, I often think about that girl when I'm facing a steaming hot plate of spaghetti. What happened to her? Did she disappear forever? Sucked in by the 4:30 p.m. shadows. Does that mean that I'm partly to blame? But I want you to understand my position, though. At the time, I wasn't willing to get involved with anyone. Which is why I kept cooking spaghetti alone, all by myself in this tiny apartment, in that huge aluminium pot, big enough to hold an Alsatian. Hello? Durum semolina. Golden wheat, wafting in Italian seasons. Can you imagine how astonished the Italians would be if they knew what they were really exporting in 1971 was goodness?